Hey, what up? Thank you so much for tuning in to Perks Pod Podcast. I know it's been a minute. Your boy has been busy. Um, Based on the title of this episode, if you have peeped the title yet, um, I am calling it Comfort and Confidence. So, the reason why I wanted to call this episode Comfort and Confidence is because, um, as a human being and as a lot of other people, I go through my phases with confidence. Um, Sometimes I am uncomfortable feeling confident or verbally proclaiming that I'm confident because, um, as a man who, in general, I like to say that I'm a humble person. I like to say that I don't, brag or, put myself out there a showboat like that. So I like to consider myself a very humble person. However, I do understand the necessity and the power that comes with being confident. And not saying that I'm not confident constantly, but to verbally express that confidence and to physically portray that confidence is something that I don't usually do, only because sometimes I feel like when I get too into that level of confidence or that mindset of confidence, I begin to associate it with cockiness. And I'm going to go into that further, that association and why they're completely different things. Um, I'm going to be completely open and honest with you guys. Confidence is something that I've always struggled with. It's something that I have even not had with my podcast. So, starting from this moment forth, y'all gonna get a different type of energy from me. In my previous podcasts, I am very, not to say that I'm, not fun or not goofy or anything. I'm very stern, stoic, almost monotonous at times when I listen to myself. And that's not me, I'm goofy, I'm all over the place. I'm this way, that way, and I don't really get that from my podcast. I don't get that energy. And after the weekend I've been through with conversing with people, going through interviews, talking and meeting with new people, especially people in the acting industry, um, I've noticed beforehand how kind of just quiet and to myself I almost seem introducing myself to those people. Because one thing about me, I am a people person. I'm a big people person. But if I'm in a position where I'm meeting a lot of new people, or I'm just in a like environment where there's nobody that I know, which I found myself in quite a few of those predicaments this weekend, I tend to be kind of closed off in a way. Like I tend not to be um, not approachable, but I don't really go out there and seek people and interaction and seek to, like, I'm not super eager to introduce myself and to just show my personality just yet. And I think that's subconscious because it just happens naturally. Like I don't force myself to stay back or to stay in the sidelines, but I just notice that when I'm in those positions, I find it very almost hard to just go out and be myself and talk to people. And this weekend, I feel like I kind of helped break out of that. The first instance where I was, in a position where I didn't know anybody, I went to the meeting with Stranger Things: The Experience. Stranger Things: The Experience is basically an immersive walkthrough that people pay to, enter the world of Stranger Things, and then bringing it to Atlanta. And I got hired as an actor worker. That's all the information you're gonna get from me before the right person listens to this and I get in trouble. But yeah, just Google it, look for those tickets. Definitely go to it. I've gotten a little sneak peek of how it looks, and let me just say that you will enjoy yourself. Anyway, um, yeah, I went to the first all inclusive cast and crew meeting of the Stranger Things: The Experience, and I didn't know anybody. The only person I had met previously was the talent manager, the one who basically told me what to do during auditions and let me know I was hired. Um, and at first I was to myself. Like everybody was already in groups when I showed up, just talking to each other. So I thought that people knew each other. Some of them did. They had met each other during the audition process. I was the very last person in my group, in my type group. I don't want to go too further into it, but there's certain roles that were auditioned for, and for my specific type of roles that I got casted for, I was the last person to audition for it. And the crazy thing is, I ended up meeting the first guy who auditioned for it, the guy who was part of the first group of people to go into audition for it. So during the audition process, you had a group of people go in at the same time and improv off of each other. I had to go in by myself, which, now that I think about it, I'm actually glad I did that, because I got to have all the reins, all the power, all the say so in what I wanted to improv with, whereas other people had to like almost gauge and feel the room and interact and improv with the other people who were auditioning. But yeah, I was standing there by myself, just chilling, waiting for someone to say something, and the guy who I ended up finding out was one of the first ones to audition. He ended up saying, "Hey, how you doing? My name's blah blah blah. You part of this group such and such?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was like, "You?" He was like, "Yeah, part of the same group." And they were in their little circle and started talking with them, and everyone was actually really cool peoples. So that was the first instance this weekend, and then the same day, about a few hours later, I went to the BET Hip Hop Business Conference hosted by Too Hot Radio, and it was a conference for everyone, for rappers, actors, models, all that, musicians, entrepreneurs. And I went, and it was the first time where if I didn't go out my way to say something to somebody, no one was going to talk to me. And I realized that, and I was like, you know what, have to come correct, have to come with that confidence, because there were producers there, producers that have done stuff that are receiving awards. They received awards at that conference, and producers that have their name in a lot of things, and a lot of people are waiting to talk to these guys. Like they're the ones who you want to get your information to in that Atlanta area. So I was like, well, you better man up, go up there and talk to them or whatever. And sorry about that. I'm sipping on a little wine while I'm doing this, but it was just you have to present yourself. And one thing about me is that when I present myself to someone new on a professional basis, I kind of hold back a little bit. And what I mean by hold back is my personality is goofy, crazy, all over the place. Just, energetic or whatever. And a lot of times I try to approach with that fake suave, that kind of reserved energy, just like, yeah, everything's chill, whatever. You guys have peeped. I feel like some of y'all have peeped it during my podcast, man. My podcast, I've been, just calm, laid back, chill, quiet, like, yeah, let's, talk seriously or whatever. But as a personality, that's not me. And I try to do that, especially in a professional setting. I say, you know what? I'm going to just be me, yo. I'm going to just be confident that my energy won't be too much for these people, and that confident that what I have and my personality and what I will show you on a regular basis once you get comfortable with me, I want to show them that off rip so they know what they're dealing with. Because not saying that, what I give out when I'm comfortable is bad or anything, but it's just different. And I don't know, as an actor, I guess is kind of uh, an oxymoron saying this, but as an actor, you put on a lot of faces in front of the camera. But I feel like one of the biggest things that as an actor I have struggled with in the past is just being authentically myself in front of people, especially when I first meet them. And I've met a few people who have that mentality where they're like, you're going to get 100% real me off rip. So you're either going to like it, either take it or leave it or whatever. And I always kind of had more of a reserve approach to it. And I said, you know what? No more of that reserve approach. I'm going to just be me 100% off rip. And I met with 3 producers, and each one of them said 2 of the same things. They said, you have a look, and they said, I like your energy. And that that said a lot for me. That did a lot for me. And for the past couple days, I've been thinking, I was like, man, I haven't done a podcast in a minute. Like I said, I've been busy. When I wasn't working, I was traveling, vice versa. And I just thought about the things that I've said and how I said it on my previous podcast. And I'm just thinking here, like, yo, these people aren't getting the Jelani energy. And even now, I'm a little more on the quiet side because even though y'all this is going to release in the morning. It's like 1:30 in the 1:30 a.m. right now. Like I just got off of work, took a shower, relaxed. So I can't get too hyped, too loud, but I at least want to get some of that loose Jelani free spirited energy to these podcasts, and I don't feel like I've been given that authentically. I should say it's. I feel like it's peeked through a few times, but I just don't give it throughout the whole podcast, and I just got to give y'all that energy because if I don't, then I'm just gonna be selling y'all short on who I am. And this podcast is all about transparency and being upfront. So it's a crime if I don't do that myself. But yeah, that this weekend has been very fun. I had the last stop of our 3-state tour for our red carpet premiere of Intimate Confessions. The film is out on Tubi and Amazon Prime now. You can go ahead and watch that. Let me know what you think. Honestly, I love honest feedback about just the film in general and my acting. I know a lot of people are giving me my props, but I'm always looking to improve, always. But I do want to talk about just confidence in the general sense. So confidence with everything, with working, talking to people, interactions, talking to women, jobs, auditioning, doing job interviews, doing new things. Confidence is a must-have no matter what you're doing in life. You have to be confident in some area about something. In a perfect world, it would be nice to be confident about everything. Confident about my looks, about my style, my talent, whatever. And of course, it's not a perfect world. There are things that, I am slightly self-conscious about. So things about me as a person, physically, mentally, emotionally, all those things. But deep down, I do know and understand that I have certain things that I can be proud of and have, things to show for it. And working on bringing that confidence to the surface, working on manifesting that confidence is something that I am still trying my hardest to work on, trying my hardest to get across to people. And it's funny because there was one day where I was at work and for some reason, I just felt good. I felt like I looked good. I felt good. Of course, the work uniform was scraggly and dingy and clunky, but just me as a person, I was, fresh haircut, everything. I just felt good. And I was walking along the aisle to go wash my hands so I can get ready to cook. And I passed one of the servers, and then she said, "Why are you walking like that?" I said, "What you mean?" She was like, "I don't know. You just walking like you the shit." Excuse my French, but I was like, I just started laughing, and it made me think it was like I didn't do it on purpose, but I knew I did have like a different kind of stature about myself. Like my shoulders was back and taut, and my chest was out, and my head was up high, and I was just walking with a stride. And people that are all about that confidence, they'll peep that, and it kind of clicked to me right then and there that like, hey, like people can see that confidence, whether you think so or not. That confidence that you have within yourself, you walk with it, you talk with it, you breathe with it, you act with it. So the people that really have an eye for it, which are going to be mostly just, mature people. Like, some people don't really care. They're not looking at nobody. They don't care. They just worried about what they doing or whatever going on about their business. But I think this is important, especially for me as an actor, because my whole thing is being seen. The whole point or whole process of getting jobs and putting yourself out there is to be seen. So that confidence or lack thereof will be visible to the people that are watching, and there will be people watching. And, like I said, it clicked to me in that moment that I gotta start walking with this. I gotta start, giving more pep in my step, giving more confidence in my stride, because people will notice. And one of the biggest things that I say, confident wise, I do have to work on, is with women. I'm a shy person. I'm a naturally shy man when it comes to women that I'm attracted to, or women that I'm crushing on, or whatever. Like I said, I'm a people person. I can talk all day. I can joke with you. I can, bring a very comfortable and fun and energetic environment to anyone I talk to. But when it comes to the expressing my feelings, or letting a woman know that, hey, you look good and I'm feeling you, that kind of proclaimment towards women is what I get nervous about, is what I get shy about, and I kind of reel back sometimes. And like I said, even if I am crushing on you, or even if I do like you, have any type of infatuation, I have no issue with going through conversation, with regular everyday conversation, joking, almost being flirtatious, because by nature I would consider myself flirtatious, because I'm naturally, I have a natural energy about me. I joke a lot. I'm very good with compliments. I would say that when it comes to being smooth and having a little bit of swag and a little bit of style, I'm very good with that in my compliments and how I compliment people. And I've actually been told that even though I don't have like the craziest or sexiest visual, like I don't have the craziest body type. I don't have the most masculine and just out there features or whatever. But when it comes to me spitting game, once I get comfortable enough and once I start dishing out those compliments, I can give it to a way where if you're digging me, like, you really gonna dig what I'm saying. And if you're not feeling me, or even if you just not paying me no mind, the compliments aren't creepy. They don't come off weird. They come off appreciative, and I know how to do that. And I'm confident in my ability to do that. But like I said, when it comes to actually pursuing, when it's like, hey, let me get your number, I like you, I want to talk some more, like stuff like that, that's when I get a little shy, on the shy side. And that's when I kind of I kind of reel back or whatever. And I've fought through that shyness quite a few times. I think that I've definitely gotten a lot better at it. Gotten a little more used to talking with people and expressing how I feel. And I think that it is a work in progress, but I'm getting a lot better at it. And I do plan on getting more confident in my approach to just, people in general. I also think that confidence in speaking your mind in general is something that I want to get better at. No matter who it's to, whether it's friends, strangers, family, I'm always not really a confrontational person. Like, if I can avoid confrontation, I will. However, don't confuse that with, letting things roll over me. I would never let a person roll over me. I'm not going to let somebody pump me, and I'm not going to let somebody try to, degrade me or put me in any type of position that will put me beneath someone. Never that. However, if it's just some rah stupid type stuff and, just things that aren't really worth it and just usually minor annoyances, then I'm going to just, go the other way. I don't really need to deal with that kind of stuff. I'd rather just remove myself from the situation and enjoy my time, my space, my peace than to, put up with that stuff. However, there are certain moments where it would be best to speak up about either how you're being done, about how people are acting, about how, like, what people are saying and things like that. And I do need to work on the confidence of saying what I need to say in the moment, not hesitating, not overthinking it. Because sometimes, you know, it's I'll never get riled up over some verbal type stuff, but there are certain moments, certain situations where something does need to be said and words need to be exchanged for you to either stop being taken advantage of, or for people to realize that you aren't the one to be taken advantage of or aren't the one to be played. And sometimes I kind of not let people get away with things, but I pussyfoot with it too much. Just the confidence in putting your foot down right then and there and be like, all right, nah, like, shut that down. Like, that's not cool. And I've honestly had quite a few situations recently that have helped me, kind of get more into that, the confidence to say something right then and there. And that's something that I'll also need to be working on in the future. But just confidence and overall. And by the way, I was already planning on this to be a short podcast episode, just more like a PSA, and kind of just like explaining to y'all my thought process and where I'm at. And if any of y'all could relate or whatever, just hear me, and maybe you can apply this to your own life. But confidence is, like I said, is a necessity. You have to have it. I'm not going to go anywhere if I don't up my confidence. Confidence in my craft as well. Confidence in acting. I am my biggest critic, and a lot of people are their biggest critics. I want to be my biggest fan, and I'm not. I can honestly say that I'm not my biggest fan. Even people that aren't really, I would say, a fan of mine, or not, people that aren't really that close with support or how they follow me, and how they view my progress and everything. Even people that are kind of more so towards the background of the close circle of people I have that do support me, even they sometimes kind of hype me up more than I hype myself up. And I've also noticed that too. And it's just, I do a lot of things where I don't take compliments. Every time I do get complimented, or someone mentions, something about my acting, or, just my, my talent in general, even if I don't say it out loud, my brain immediately starts to go to, well, it's okay. It's not all that great. Or, I know I could have done a lot better, blah, blah, blah. Especially, in hindsight, because the performance I gave in, our film Intimate Confessions was it was in January. It was in January. And I can honestly say that since January, I have learned a lot about myself. And I've also done a lot of soul searching. A lot of things have happened since January that have opened my mind and my spirit in a way that would actually help me with my craft. I learned my mode of meditation not even like a month ago. I found that only a month ago. The way I know how to clear my mind and just open up. Just open up so I can take everything in and become something else. I just learned how to do that to a much fuller extent, and the things that I've learned about myself and how I best get into the mindset of my characters that I play, practices that I do have completely changed from over half a year ago. So yeah, I know I could do a lot better now. I know that there are a lot of things that could have been improved. However, what I can't take away is the level of effort and the level of commitment that I gave to that character at that moment, that I gave to the project itself, to my producers, to me, to myself. All that effort and practice and, that mindset going in, I did what I could. I did what I could, and I, at the end of the day, am happy with my overall performance. Because when I first watched the film, I've watched this film, I think, like 4 or 5 times now. First time I watched it, I was picking my performance apart like a freaking, like a puzzle. I was picking it apart like I'm like breaking down a Lego set. I was just taking pieces, putting them here, putting them there, thinking of where they could have went to make it look better. And, I was just constantly criticizing myself and becoming that critique. And I didn't like watching myself. I didn't. And then I watched it the second time. And I tried to extend myself an olive branch. I was like, look, this was, over half a year ago. This is what it looks like. It's over and done now. You can't go back and change it. So you might as well look at the good things. So I started breaking it down in a different way. I started looking at things that I thought worked well and made things believable. And the third time I watched it as an audience member. I stopped picking things apart and just watched it, and just to see if I believed what I was giving. There were moments where I feel like I went back to my theater roots, because in the end, it's not a comedy. It's not a comedy, but there was a lot of comedic energy that was wanted from my character. And a lot of that energy had to go somewhere because, not to spoil anything, but during certain parts, there was very limited movement, I should say. There's very limited movement. So that comedic energy, that sassiness, that whatever I needed to get across, sarcasm, whatever it may be, it had to go somewhere. So it went to my face. There's a lot of facial expressions, almost very theatrical. And I haven't been to theater in a minute. It's probably since high school. So it's been about at least 8 years. Yeah, at least. Well, I would say at least 7.5 years since I've done any type of theater. And just watching it, it made me laugh. It worked with the character. It went along with the vibe and the energy of the story at the time I was doing said things. And watching everything else, I was just like, you know what? I do think I did pretty well. I do think I did pretty well, especially for when I did it. And, my mom came to the showing, and my homeboy Najee, shout out to him, real one, he came to the one in New York. That was our first stop one. So the 3-state tour, it was one in Utica, New York, one in Miami, Florida, and then the last one was in Atlanta, Georgia. And Najee, he was honest with me. He was like, yeah, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, your acting was like a 7.8, and I was like, respect it. And then, my mom, when she watched it, her biggest thing was during the dramatic moments of that my character had, which is the ones that I wanted to focus on most. She said that I did a phenomenal job. And looking back on it, I agree. I think I did a great job. And it's funny talking to you guys on this podcast. That's the first time I've said it out loud. I did a great job on that film. And I really do believe that. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to manifest it. I do believe that I did a great job. And there's a reason why people that worked on that film with me tell me certain things, give me certain compliments, give me certain affirmations and confirmations. And there's a reason why people tell me things. And a lot of that lack of confidence has kept me from hearing them, kept me from processing those things, and kept me from believing in them. kept me from agreeing with them. And that is dangerous because, yeah, it's good to critique yourself, and it's good to want to constantly improve yourself, which I always will. But if you don't take the time to give yourself, the kudos that you deserve, you'll constantly think that you're not doing good enough, or you'll constantly think that you're subpar and not bringing what you should to the table. And honestly, if you keep that mindset, even though you think that it's helping you get better, even though you think that it's giving you more motivation to do better, that constant negative outlook on yourself that, oh, I didn't do good enough and I need to do better, I think that might hurt you more than it'll help. Because there's nothing better than a balance. I've talked about this in previous podcasts. Balance is everything, in everything. You can't be too hard on yourself, just as you can't be too cocky. You can't be too confident. I won't say confident. You can't be too cocky. You can't be too egocentric and narcissistic to the point where you're like, yeah, I killed that shit. I couldn't do anything better. Like, I was the star of that film because, my acting was top notch. Couldn't have done better. That's dangerous thinking. That's very dangerous thinking. But if you come with that balance of, yeah, man, I did my thing. I really think that I did really good. There's certain things that I could have done better here and there, but I saw what was good, implement that in my next acting, and then everything that I think didn't really work out as well, that's what I'm going to work on. And, I know what I need to do for the next one. That's the energy that I need to come with. That's the energy that everyone needs to have. That's what I will continue to do from now on. This is part of my growth. This new boat of confidence. When I was talking with those producers at that conference, I said things that I never really expected myself to say. Things like, because I told them, I was like, hey, my name is Jelani Perkins. I'm an actor. And I always told people I'm an aspiring actor. That I'm an aspiring actor because I feel like I haven't done enough to say, yeah, I'm an actor. But you know what? Nah. My name is Jelani Perkins, and I'm an actor. That's what I do. And I was telling them about the things that I've done, the accolades that I have now, kind of like a very quick snippet of my resume or whatever. And then I told them, I was like, look, and I told every producer this, almost word for word, verbatim. I was like, look, I don't look for hand-me-outs. I don't want you to give me nothing except a chance to show you what I can do. I don't want anything from you but just one chance so I can prove to you that I got the talent to make your stuff look good. And that's what I told them. And you know what's crazy? All of them, they looked at me with a sense of, you know what? That's real right there. That's something that I could agree with. Because at the end of the day, you want people in whatever you have, your production, your projects, not even acting related, just anything that you're doing in life, especially if you're the one that's like, leading the whole thing and headlining it. You want people around you that have confidence in what they do, that know that they can bring something to the table that makes the project more valuable. You want people that have that mentality, because if you have people that kind of short themselves, and you have people that are constantly bringing themselves down, that'll eventually bring the value of your product down, because just because they're beating themselves up, they might not give 100%. They might not give what they can give. And, that mindset, that mentality, they said something at the radio and it was great. It was, what you think is what you speak. What you speak is what you do, and what you do is what determines where you're going in the future. So everything comes from that first thought. So if you start to break yourself down and constantly demean yourself and never give yourself any credit, what you do in the future is not going to have the credit that you want for yourself. You want because you never thought that, you never spoke that into existence. So that new level of confidence, and I've had my moments, in this past year, just little small moments where, especially if I'm getting tried up or if I'm getting tested or whatever, I have my moments where I'll have that little spark of confidence that I'll verbally say out loud. But I want to turn those moments into just me, you know? I don't want them to be moments anymore. I just want that to be who I am when I walk in the door and when I leave out. When I wake up and when I go to sleep, I want to be that person that says, yeah, I got what it takes. I'm not perfect, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but just know that I got something. I got something in my arsenal. I got many things in my arsenal that make me dangerous in this game. And just know that I'm coming for it. I'm coming for that top spot. It might be a while, and there might be a lot of things that I got to do before I get there, but best believe I'm doing what I need to get there. So that's that mindset that I'm adopting, mostly for my career, but for everything else. Like I said, relationships, interactions, talking with people, hobbies, anything that I'm doing. I'm coming with that new sense of confidence, and I'm manifesting that today, like right now, like to you guys. I'm saying out loud, I believe that I have been called to do something. I think I've mentioned it in previous podcasts. I think that I think God put me on this earth to be an uplifter, spirits, an uplifter of energies, because I'm really good at it. I'm really good at listening. I'm really good at talking to people, giving advice. I'm good at doing those things. And what better platform to do those things than as a storyteller? Because that's what us actors are. We are storytellers. We may not be the story writers, the story creators, but we tell the story through our acting, through our actions, and through what you see on the screen. And that's what we are. We are storytellers. And this is the story that I'm going to tell. The story of Jelani Perkins. The story of how a little guy with big dreams came out of nowhere and, shocked the world. I want to be that. And that sounds very ambitious, but, screw it. Why not? Why not? I have a lot of ambitions. I told people my acting, I have realistic goals. But each goal isn't the end. So my end goal would be to be the most famous actor in history. That's a crazy feat. It's one of those things where, it's kind of opinion based. It depends on who you ask, who the most famous actor in history is. But you know what? I think it's a goal that I will chase for the rest of my life, because realistically, I will not achieve that goal. Realistically. However, realistically does not mean impossible. And I will chase that goal. My first goal in acting is to become so independent and so engrossed in the industry that I can do nothing but acting and support myself financially. That's number one. Number two is to become an actor who can support myself and can support others. That's a different level. It's going from being an actor who can be financially stable and be, take care of himself, to being a wealthy actor. Because not every wealthy actor is famous. There are a lot of, me and my homeboy Philip were talking about, there's a lot of rich people that nobody knows about. A lot of people that are just got money on money and no one has ever heard of. Yeah, of course, not in the acting business, but, well, there are some in the acting business that not a lot of people know. and just stuff like that, like to become wealthy. That's my second goal. My third goal is to become wealthy and famous. To become one of those guys that you may not know my name, but like as soon as you see me on the street, you'll be like, oh, it's old boy from blah blah blah. My fourth goal is to become a household name. Those household names, you know what those are. Those are the people that everybody knows, that everybody in the United States, once you hear their name, freaking Denzel, Will Smith, Meryl Streep, people like that, that you say out loud and everybody's like, got it, I know who that is. My fifth goal is to be, I would say my fifth goal would be to be considered one of the best. Because there are household names that wouldn't be considered, I would say, like, the best of the best. Like, I've talked to a lot of people who the best actor is, and not once has anyone said, like, Tobey Maguire. Or not once has anyone said Whoopi Goldberg. The people like that there are household names. Those are household names, but they're not considered the best. I'm going for the best. And then my last goal is to be the best ever. And I will never give up on acting until I reach my last goal. And I have the confidence, and I believe I have the talent, and I have the work ethic to believe that I can knock down at least 3 or 4 of those goals before I leave this earth. I know that, and that I'm not going to settle for less than 3. So what was my first goal? Financially stable. Second goal was wealthy and stable. Third goal was wealthy, stable, and famous. Who knows? I may not ever become a household name, but you're going to know my face. And I'm going to make sure this world knows my face before I leave it. And I'm saying that right now in all confidence. And no matter what happens, I'm not giving up on this. And y'all can take that how you want it. Y'all can, take me for my word now. I will not stop until I reach that third goal. Actually, no. I'm not going to stop until I reach the last goal, but I'm going to reach the third goal before I leave. Unless, like, God forbid, something completely tragic happens. As long as I can live my expected life expectancy without, like, some crazy stuff or some crazy disaster happening, I will reach my third goal. And I'm manifesting that right now. And like I said, I'm confident that I have the talent, the work ethic, and the drive. I have it, and I'm going to use it. And ain't nobody going to get in the way of that. Not even myself. So yeah, that's my spiel. That's my little interactive rant for today. My intrusive thoughts, my good thoughts, my bad thoughts. I'm putting it all out there for you guys now, because I want you guys to know where I am. A lot of people, they see what I post and they see the things on the outside, and while the support and the hype is amazing and I love it and I love you guys for it, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and sometimes people think that I'm a lot further on than I really am. And that's not me having a lack of confidence, that's me being real with myself. Where I am right now is not, oh, let me get your autograph worthy. I walked into work today and people were asking me for my autograph, and it was funny and it was great. It was great. It made me feel good. But it's like, no, I'm not asked for your autograph worthy yet. But it felt good, and to feel that energy, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go after it, and I'm gonna get to where people that don't know me are asking that. I've had that happen one time, though. I got recognized from the news in that we were doing our film and everything, and I was serving at Cracker Barrel, and one of the ladies recognized me for the news, and then she asked me to put my autograph on the receipt, and they gave me a $20 tip. It was nice. But like, when that becomes a common occurrence, that's when I'll accept that. And it's only going to fuel me to go higher, to keep going and to keep pressing. And I'm going to keep going no matter what anyone says, because the day that I had a conversation with someone and someone said that Will Smith was a horrible actor, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, people going to think what they think. People are going to say whatever they want to say, but all that matters is what I'm doing, where I'm going, and what's going in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what matters, not what other people say, not what other critics say about my acting. As long as I'm still getting work, and as long as I'm still making that money, and as long as people are still booking me for stuff, I know that I got something they want, regardless of what anyone else says. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the support. Whoever's listening to this, thank you for the support of this podcast. Thank you for the support of me. Thank you for helping me look within myself and to just constantly improve and just be better as a human, better as an actor, and just better as a confident man. Someone who is confident in what they're doing, someone who's confident in what they're going, and someone's confident where they've already been. So thank you so much. I'm going to speak to y'all soon, and y'all just have a good rest of your day.